Today I ask, why is it so hard to serve? Hey everybody, my name is Scott Vermillion. Thanks for tuning in today. Today we're going to talk about service and a life hack that goes along with that to help us serve in a little easier way. When I was growing up, I had an opportunity to work for my dad who owned a vending and catering company. And so we would go to these big corporate parties where industry workers were having to serve all night or work all night over like Thanksgiving and Christmas and Easter. And so we would produce wonderful meals for them. And they would be either seafood meals or big turkey meals for them to enjoy on their break. And we would go and we would serve. And without fail, every time I would serve food to, I would say about 10 of the 400 that were there, at least 10, would say to me some complaint about the food that they were getting for free. They found some way to complain that what I was giving them was not good enough and somehow I need to be giving them something better. And again, this was seafood, this was turkey, this was prime rib. I mean, this was really good food that I longed to eat, and yet I had to serve it. And I think that that deep down inside of us, when it comes to service, we have a fear, right? That somehow we're gonna fear being taken advantage of. That someone's going to see us serving and take advantage of us in a way, and it's not going to feel good. Because I can tell you that the amount of time and effort that I spent in helping prepare that food and serve that food and clean up that food for them, I did not appreciate the fact that they thought that I was giving them chopped liver. And I think that somewhere in our resources, that when we think of service, that we think that someone's going to take advantage of us. And I just find that's a big deal, and it prevents us from serving. Even in my family, I see, if I ask one kid to do something and not the other, that daughter is miffed because the one doesn't have to serve, but this one does have to serve. And it's vice versa. I mean, it doesn't matter what it is. And these are the attitudes that we can take around serving, and it can really prevent us from engaging it with our whole heart. We can be suspicious by it, or we can just say no to a need that we see because we have some fear that we're going to be taken advantage of. Well, Jesus does something that's remarkable. On the eve of his death, he gathers his disciples together for a meal. And back in the day, there was running sewage in the streets. There was no plumbing and there was no sewer system, and so there was all kinds of waste and feces and you name it out there that people were stepping in. And so they would have a guy, one of the lowest servants of the household, wash people's feet before they came in because they didn't want to take what they were stepping in all day into someone's home. It was rude, and especially you didn't want that smell when you were eating dinner. And so it was during this meal, no one had washed the disciples' feet. No one took that task on. And so halfway through the meal, Jesus gets up, takes his shirt off, wipes it, wraps it around his waist, and begins washing each one of the disciples' feet. This is an amazing care that Jesus gives to his followers, to give to his 12 guys. That he is thinking that this is an act of service that I want to give to you. And what I think enables him to do that is he embraces vulnerability. Is that he was vulnerable enough to use his power to serve others. That he was vulnerable enough to embrace even the people that were against him, because Judas at the time had already agreed to betray Jesus, and yet he washed his feet too. Even the people that were thought lowly of Jesus, he served them. And I think that is the key to understanding service, is that we would embrace this vulnerability. And we know that the end of that story, Jesus says, listen, no servant is greater than his master. And if the master has chosen to do this for you, you are to do it for others. And so we're to take on this posture of service, that we're to look toward each other, both left and right, and to serve those around us in practical ways. By wiping off the crap of their life, by helping forgive them for their sins and to establish them in their homes and their workplaces, wherever we can, to empower them toward living for Christ in every way we can. And I think the way we do that is not to think of ourselves, but to embrace our vulnerability, to give that fear to Jesus, to know that, hey, listen, this person may take advantage of me, but that's on you, it's not on me, I don't need to worry about that. I need to embrace this vulnerability and serve, because I'm following you. I'm following your cue in life. And I found that this is really helpful to me. This is a life hack that has enabled me to serve on more than one occasion. When I just take the posture and say, I just need to embrace this vulnerability and discredit my fears and realize this is what Jesus did for me. How much more should I do it for my fellow man? And so I want to encourage you guys this week to think about serving, to embrace vulnerability and to allow that to propel you into the lives of others, to give a word of encouragement or an act of service towards someone in need, and see what happens. Just see what happens to your attitude and your willingness to serve, and just what that event looks like as a result of embracing vulnerability. All right, let me know in your comments what you're learning about service and what motivates you to move out into the lives of others, to serve them and their needs. Thanks for liking, commenting, and subscribing. We will see you guys soon, so stay tuned for another video on Life Hacks. All right, take care and have a great day.